if you are new to this channel, my name is Matt Shannon and I am a full-time photographer in beautiful British Columbia. Whether you're here to learn, be inspired, or simply enjoy some stunning visuals, you've come to the right place. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. This is part 2 of my Yellowstone adventure. In a minute, we're going to go into the field where I show you what it is I'm photographing and the conditions. But before then, I wanted to say that this is the lens that I'm using for most of my shots. It's a 500 f4 Nikon lens, and I've got a 1.4 teleconverter, and this gives me 700 mils of reach. And this is the camera that I'm using. It is a Nikon Z9. So most of the photos and video is coming out of this. There's a whole bunch of different function buttons that I'm using, different modes for focusing, especially with the snow. And I explain all of that in a video that has this thumbnail. So if you want to check it out, this is what it looks like. And I kind of break down my settings and how I kind of get in and out of vehicles and photograph the wildlife that you're about to see. So if you want to check that out, I'll have a link down below. Just come back to this video or go there after this video to see how it is that I pack and photograph with the settings that I've got set up. Okay, with that, let's jump in the field and see some of Yellowstone. We got a couple of bighorn sheep up there. There were wolves that we seen just down the way, part of the Molly pack. And this actually 2 days ago, this is where everyone was. This parking lot was completely full, and the pack of wolves were probably the closest that we might see on this trip, at least for the Molly pack. They were pretty close down here, and that was an exciting morning. So there's still some people getting glimpses of the wolves up that way. And today has been a little bit slow. We haven't seen a whole lot. I think where we're going to go from here is maybe keep going until you see coyotes. And then from there, we have to make our way to West Yellowstone. So yeah, I think we're going to pack up now. You guys got your shots? Yeah, it's getting windy though. And the clouds are starting to roll in, which is actually kind of nice during the middle part of the day, just because it's softer lighting. So on the way out of the park, we saw this beautiful red fox. It was moving in through some of the bushes, and there was some snowbanks, and I really liked the way this photograph turned out. We also stopped at a bear den, and those who are lucky get the shot of the bear just with its face outside of the den. And apparently there's one cub in there as well, which is pretty cool. And as we were exiting the park, we saw this group of bison jumping, kicking, and causing some commotion. So it was pretty cool to see. Didn't get any great photographs, but the landscape, the mountains in behind were beautiful nonetheless. We left Yellowstone National Park in the north and we headed down to West Yellowstone, checked into our Airbnb and got ready for our next adventure. So we're on our 4th day and we're going in this guy. Okay, most of our gear is gonna go back in the back seat, and then plenty of room. Now, these vehicles look impressive. It does take some getting used to crawling in and out of the vehicles because they're up quite high, and they are quite loud. So all the wildlife knows these vehicles when they're coming and going. Now, no lie, within 10-15 minutes, we saw our first wolf out on the road in front of us. And then up in the woods, there was a second wolf trailing behind, keeping up the same pace as the one on the road. There he is. Yeah, he's coming down. Now I'm hand holding my camera because you don't know how long these moments are going to last, My shutter speed was fast enough so I could actually freeze the action. It's the video that you can see my movement sort of bobbing around. Now you can see that this gray wolf has a tracking collar around it. It's definitely more skittish than the one that's down on the road. We couldn't believe the pace that this wolf was doing in really rocky areas and other areas where the snow is pretty deep. And every once in a while you can see it scoop up snow with its mouth. There we go. And of course it's hydrating itself as it's moving across the woods. Now every minute or so this wolf would stop on the road, howl, and then carry on walking. Now the wolves will use these roads just because the snow is compact. It's a lot easier to go long distances without having to go along rocks and valleys and hills and fall into the deeper snow. What's really cool is that we actually got to see some wolves because they can hear us coming from 10 miles away even, because we're quite loud, and their hearing is exceptional. Now the darker wolf out of the two didn't really care about us, and it didn't really care about our distance, whereas the other one was quite skittish. So we'll drive for a bit and then all of a sudden we'll see the darker one stop, it'll do some howls, it'll look at us, and then it would carry on its way. Now at that time we would get out of the vehicle, we would keep our distance of 300 feet. And the first thing I would do is drop right down onto the ground. Huge thank you to Chris who took this photo while Ken and I were down on the ground taking photographs of the wolf. And the ground offers some great support for your elbows to stabilize your camera and lens. Now there are a few benefits to photographing at this angle where we're on the ground. One being more at eye level, or even better yet, having the wolf a little bit higher than us, showing dominance in the scene. The second is the background. I can film more of the woods in the background than having snow. If I was at a higher angle, you'd get way too much snow in the scene. I love having some separation where the head and the body is a bit above the snow line. I feel like this composition balances out the images better. Now we've been following this wolf for at least half an hour, 45 minutes, and I think our guide was saying it was about 8 miles of us traveling down this road, hanging out with this wolf. And some of my favorite photos are when we kind of came around a bend here and it was still howling, but the trees and the snow line and where it stood along the bank, I really love just how your eye can kind of just move into the photo, see the wolf there, plenty of detail, and there's some snow that's falling. When we got further down the road, we can actually get ahead of it because the road actually splits to these different viewing platforms, and my first shot was this. It's out of focus, but it looks like the wolf is in this sort of attack, crouched down hunting mode, which it wasn't really. I just captured it when I was going maybe low to the ground to, sniff, which is what it's doing right now. And here it actually is going to pass us. We're further down on the bank, out of its way, because we knew it just wanted to keep going along the road. And I captured these beauties. Now this is a fun situation where we stayed in the vehicle and the wolf just ended up walking around our vehicle. And the driver moves when it needs to either get close to the other vehicles so there's more room for that wolf and the other wolf to move freely to where they want to go. Now this wolf is part of the Wapiti wolf pack, which is Yellowstone's largest wolf pack. The estimate of how many wolves within that wolf pack is around 25, which is huge. Trying to get ahead of it now. Not bad. How was that? Perfect. Yes, perfect. There he goes. We're now here with other people. We were alone with the wolf for, seemed like an hour. Now, I don't have a sponsor for this video, but I do have workshops that are coming up that help support myself and this channel. I've got an eagle and a grizzly bear workshop this year that might still have a few spots available. And then next year, I've got a trip in Kenya, Africa. I'm so pumped about this trip. A lot of things are included, so be sure to check out everything, all the details that it has, because there's flights in between the parks that we've included. The accommodations are incredible, and the hotel, even when you arrive, is also part of this package. So if you're interested in joining me in Africa in 2026, there's going to be a link down below, but you can go to mattshannon.ca/workshops. Thank you so much for the shares, the likes, and the support. Now let's get back out in the field.
Where are all my friends to help me? Yeah.
So we can hear at least, well, there's at least two, right? There might be more. We've seen two, but way over there. You got the two wolves. The one black one doesn't seem to be shy of us at all. Now there's scads of people now. We were out early. It's all about being out early, guys. Yeah. I'm so glad we did that. This is Ed right here. Ed was our driver. Huge shout out to him. He took us to all the wonders that Yellowstone has to offer, including more wildlife. We saw this red fox in Hayden Valley, I believe. I really wanted to capture the fox kind of pouncing on its prey, but it was just wandering throughout the desert of snow. Kind of hard to know that it's kind of looks like sand, you know?
It looks like
Like dunes.
dunes.
This is considered the most photographed or famous tree in Yellowstone, or so it was told, and it definitely looked amazing, especially with those hills of snow in behind and the way the sun kind of lit up in between, and we waited for the right moment. We were there for, felt like a lot longer than I expected, but it was just so peaceful. We were the only ones there, and there was a few bison up on the hill. There's no one else around. There's a bison right there. You can see for miles, and yet this guy snuck up on us. All of a sudden, oh, hey, turn around. And there was this beautiful coyote. Now, coyotes are definitely underrated. Look at this coat. Look at those eyes and the ears. They're fluffy, colorful winter coats. They hunt a lot like foxes do, where they have their ears and they tilt them down towards the snow, listening for the mice or the voles kind of digging through the snow, and then they'll pounce on them. And I really enjoyed my time photographing these guys in Yellowstone. Now this video footage is from my iPhone. I have it mounted on my camera, so you can kind of see how far away I am from this perspective. And then this is the video footage from my Z9 through the lens. My focal length is 700 mils. I am hand holding this lens and camera, so it's quite heavy. My arms really are burning here, but these moments are just so good and unexpected, because I didn't see any wildlife until this guy just showed up out of nowhere. Which is why it's always important to keep your head on a swivel. Now what I just said was fox out that way. So there's the fox way out in the middle of this open plain. So we're getting back into the vehicle to maybe get a better composition. I could really only get a good shot of it through my lens because the fox was so far out, kind of curled up in the middle of this field, and you wouldn't be able to see it on the iPhone. So it's a little shaky, but this is that fox. And it's like it went into the middle of the field just to curl up and take a nap. There's not much color here, so I threw everything into black and white. And I really liked how this turned out with the clouds in the background. Now the adventure's not over. I've just got so many photos that I've taken on this trip and so many amazing moments. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. It helps with this channel and this video. And if you aren't subscribed, think about subscribing. Thank you all so much for all the love and support, and I will see you on the next adventure. Ciao.